This is an Insane Cast production. You're listening to Thanks for Watching the All Movies Podcast. With your cast, Beth, DJ, Jimmy, and Adrian. And now, thanks for watching.
Welcome to Thanks for Watching. Episode 46.
The first one of 2019.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's right. The first time we're recording in this year. Yes. And you'll be shocked to know I'm DJ.
I am shocked.
Thank you. And sitting across from me is...
Shockingly, it's Jimmy.
There we go. And then sitting right in the center of all of us, you can see her there.
Whoa.
It's me. It's Beth.
Whoa.
Yay! Hey, Beth.
It is right there.
Yeah, it's cross-legged. Look at that. Just
Okay.
so okay. And then sitting to my left, another shock.
Dun dun dun! Oh, wait, Adrian Rondo.
Whoa!
Back from the abyss.
The abyss. That's right.
I've been on a lot of sabbaticals lately.
And we have kind of an interesting show for you.
I mean, not super
in the news.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Like that,
interesting.
those AT&T commercials where the doctor comes in. Well, before the doctor comes into the surgery, the guy goes, "So the doctor, is he?" And the nurse goes, "He's okay."
Yeah.
And then the guy's like, "Just okay," and the doctor walks in, and the doctor is like, "Well, we got pretty good chance." Oh, he goes, "No," he's walking in, and he goes, "Guess who just got reinstated?"
Yep, I saw that commercial.
Oh!
And then he goes, "Yeah, I think we got pretty good chances, mostly."
I mean,
Mostly.
Well, good luck. We'll see you in there.
yeah. It's really funny.
This is not going to be just
yeah.
This is a pretty good show.
Well, it's gonna. Well, yeah, you're right. And I'm throwing everybody for a loop because we're going to talk about some stuff that I didn't even put in the notes, which is really kind of cool.
He's
man.
surprises on us.
That's right, exactly. Hey, but first, you're going to let you know, we're going to talk about Vice, Bumblebee, Mary Poppins, Ben is Back, on the basis of sex. Let's see, The Favorite. Then we'll have box office numbers, streaming, a challenge, next week's openings, future films, a new discussion question. We have a lot to cover.
So we better get this thing ripping.
We really do. There we go. And my microphone's too hot. Sorry, I'll talk further away from my microphone. There we go.
There we go. Welcome
All right.
back.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so first of all, we're going to talk a little bit about the news and what is the biggest thing in news the day after Sunday. The first
Football.
Sunday of the new year.
Football.
No, it's not football.
Not on a movie
we don't
podcast.
talk football. Yeah, that's just silly.
Well, there's a lot of drama in the NFL.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
not the
there's
drama
so
we
much
talk
drama.
about. Unless it's in, like,
Yeah.
The Replacements or Rudy or something.
Or
Right.
The Blind Side.
Yeah.
Or right, exactly. But we just happened to have the Golden Globes.
Oh, the Golden Globes.
What does that even mean?
I feel like I should know this.
You should know this,
Since you're typically the news guy.
Yeah.
right?
Used to be
News
once upon a
guy.
time. The news guy is no longer.
Right, and there were a lot of great things. In fact, one of the movies you're going to talk about, Jimmy, Vice. One of the actors won from that. One of best actor in a musical or comedy.
Nice.
Yeah, that would be Christian Bale.
Christian Bale was actually really good.
Yeah.
I mean, he owned that thing, but we'll
Sure
get to
did.
that. We'll get to that.
Yeah, we could get to that. There was a foreign language film that we almost watched on Netflix the other day. We didn't watch it because they were like, oh, it has subtitles. I don't want to watch that right now. But it's Roma, won best foreign language film, which is cool. And that was shot all in black and white. Oh, that's another one of those things I should write down, that we could do our favorite black and white films. Wouldn't that be neat?
That would be neat.
Write that down in the notes somewhere. That would
You
be
want me
neat.
to text it to you?
Sure.
Okay.
Jeff Bridges won an
Jeff
award?
Bridges!
Yeah, so he's good.
He is very good.
there's a lot of stuff that like I didn't see where there were winners.
Okay.
So there's a crime story. Let's see, the assassination of.
That was a little bit awkward, wasn't it? It just wasn't just me.
There were a lot of awards things winning that I didn't eyes.
I didn't eyes. That's right. So this is a limited series or motion picture made for.
Yeah, there's a lot that.
television.
Okay, so the Golden Globes isn't just movies.
No,
It's also
a lot
like
of stuff.
TV and so
Anything that has to do with motion pictures, right?
Yeah.
Those talkies.
Them there thingies.
Those talkies
So
that are
the-
super
the
important.
Yes. The assassination of Guinea Varsis, American crime story. I probably butchered that name.
You really did.
Yeah, what did it actually say?
I have no idea,
good.
but I'm sure that you butchered
Holy
it.
crap,
Yeah.
let me look it up.
Yeah, I just went on Twitter and like downloaded every single picture that they tweeted during the show.
Man.
It's like, yeah, it was a ton of them. Like Olivia Colman won for the
Oh,
favorite.
she's so good.
She was awesome.
Do-do-do.
A movie we still haven't seen, Green Book.
Okay.
That
Yeah, I
one,
haven't seen that
Best
one.
Musical or Comedy. Glenn Close won Best Actress
Good job.
in a Drama. Yeah. And she was up against Lady Gaga.
Whoa.
in the-
What did you say the show was? I want to hear you say this name again.
Oh,
He said
yeah.
Guinea.
Are you talking about the assassination of Gianni Versace?
Boy, did I really screw that up.
Oh, you did. You butchered that one.
Good grief.
You were like, you made Whitey Bulger seem like he could be
Yeah.
a child therapist.
Okay, well,
Yeah. Oh,
that's a pretty big name, Deej.
apparently so, but I've never seen that name spelled out before in my
That
life.
happens.
So.
Okay, so yeah, that was actually a pretty good show. I did view that back when it came
Did
out
you?
last year. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't speak French, so I know it's not. I'm sorry. That was a
Also,
bad
Gianni Versace is like a huge fashion designer. Like, if you've ever heard
Yes.
anyone say
Yes.
Versace, there it is.
Right.
Does that guy, does Jenny Versace, does that person make kilts?
No,
He don't make anything anymore. He did.
he did. Yes.
Right.
Oh.
That's why the show is called The
Anyway.
Assassination of Guinea Versace.
Oh, God.
Thank you for that.
So that is that should just be the title. I mean, that's just it.
But spell it like guinea
Spell it.
hen.
What are you talking about? Oh no.
Okay, so
By the
Okay,
way,
moving on.
I saw The Wife, and Glenn Close did an amazing job with that, and I'm glad she won that.
she is generally pretty awesome.
Generally, pretty awesome. And then, of course, for Bohemian Rhapsody.
all the awards.
That one, yeah. And then, I'm not going to say his name right, so what's his name, Beth?
I actually don't know that one.
Oh,
Sure.
Rami?
Yeah, I think that's how you say it.
Malik?
Probably Malik. Probably Rami Malek. That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds
I think
good.
I've heard that before.
Well, I think I'm done butchering.
You did a fine job, DJ. You found a fine job.
Thank you. I wish I'd seen Green Book. I'll probably get to see that.
When did that even come out? I don't even know what that is.
It's been out, I
It's
think.
a book about. It's a book.
It's a green one?
It's a film. Yeah, it's a green
Got
book
it.
about a book that's green.
Ah.
No, apparently it's a film about a black composer,
That one.
Yeah, that guy.
and I don't know the name. That's all that I know about it.
It's the one with is that Mahershala Ali and Vigo? That one?
Sounds
So,
great.
yes, exactly.
I know what that is now.
Yeah. We did get A Star Is Born, the song "Shallows." Mm-hmm. That one won Best Original
Surprise!
song.
That didn't get very many awards, though, as a movie overall, did
It's the
it?
beginning of
No.
it's the beginning of award season.
Yeah,
We still have
They'll probably
SAG
pull
and
up an
Spirit
Oscar.
and the Oscars
Yeah.
and People's Choice and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, my
Yeah,
goodness.
they'll throw up a bunch of more. Justin Hurwitz from First Man.
Oh, way to go,
Best
space
original
movie!
score. Yeah.
Oh, wow, best original score.
And I watched.
didn't even.
And how about this? A Carol Burnett Award.
Aw,
Do you know
CB.
she was on stage? She hasn't changed a bit. She is an amazing lady.
She is an amazing lady.
I loved how she totally said, you know, back then it was so much cheaper to make these things. They couldn't afford a live band anymore. They couldn't afford all that stuff. So now you all have this digital synthesized
Oh
stuff.
no.
I thought that was pretty
That
good.
is funny.
So you know, they were like, she was like, we got to do stuff that you guys today will never get
It's
to do.
true.
I know. I'm like, oh, that sucks. And like everybody in the room who's a product of the synthesized stuff is kind of like, oh, great, thanks for that. So I thought it was good though. I'm glad that she won. She got the award, and she's
Wait,
like, "Do I get
she
to
got an award
claim
that
this?"
had her name on it.
It was her own award.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
she's kind of a ringer.
you might as well give her the first award with her name on
Yeah.
it, right?
Totally.
Makes sense. So she's like, does that mean I get to come and thank everybody every year when I get this? So, but anyway, it was pretty neat to see her on stage, doing a lot of stuff. And she's done some things I didn't realize she did. So
She's a very versatile lady.
yeah, she is. A lot of voiceover work
Yeah.
too, which is like, once I saw some of the stuff she's done, I'm like, oh wow. I'm trying to think of what she's done, because I was like, I've done so much since I started this research project. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. Okay, but let me tell you
Okay.
right now.
Do it.
Are you ready?
I'm ready. I'm listening.
Are
Yep.
you? Okay. Well, well, here's the thing. I was like, okay, I knew she did this. Hannigan from
Well,
Amy.
yeah.
Mrs. Hannigan. But she was, she did, hold on a second.
The Carol Burnett
I didn't
Show.
know she was in Hawaii Five-0, but she's been in a few episodes of that, the new
Yeah.
one. She was in Glee. I didn't know
Oh,
that.
I knew that.
Oh, yeah. She was, okay, Kangaroo in
14
14 Years of Who. I was like, and that's the one. I was like, oh, yeah, that's her voice. I totally remember that. So, and there's so much more. I'm just not going to go any further.
She's done a lot. She's got a big body of work.
Yeah, she's got a lot. Tons of stuff. You could look her up on IMDb or whatever. Yeah, find her on
Sounds
there.
great.
So, so what else? Anybody else want to say something about the Golden Globes?
I said Adam Driver didn't win, but that's just because I thought he was amazing.
Yeah, I was surprised that he didn't get something, but like I said,
Yeah,
there are more
it's the
things.
beginning of award season. It's not even.
Yeah.
And, you know,
So,
the thing is, if he doesn't win, it's not like I'm going to be like, no, he was robbed or anything like that. I mean, everybody
Right.
does good work, and you can't, it's hard to quantify. So I just really
Yeah.
think it was great.
Right, that's true. Best motion picture animated, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that. And then Michael Douglas got an award, Best Picture by an Actor in a Television Series, Musical or Comedy, and it was the...
What? Best,
I'm going to say this wrong. The Kominsky method?
yeah.
Kaminsky method?
Yeah.
I didn't know he was in something like that.
It's a Amazon Prime series.
Oh, okay.
I think it's I think that you're butchering that name as well.
Yeah, that's you know what, we need to deem
I
somebody
think you
the
might be dyslexic.
official. I could be the official name speaker. Who could that be?
Okay.
I don't know. Just read my mind and know what I'm trying to say, and you'll be all good.
Well,
right?
I mean,
Yeah.
just
It's the Kaminsky
right.
method.
Oh, okay, Kaminsky.
You
method.
said it right the second time.
Oh, yeah, I added an R or
The
something.
first time, yeah, you were like the core. It doesn't matter. Moving on.
right. Moving on. Anyway, so
Beautiful.
that's actually I've taken over the Adrian News Corner. Sorry.
Oh, I didn't know what's going on.
Where's Adrian been? The moon. He actually was one of the winners
I
of First
literally am
Man.
like, what's going on?
Do you have any news for us, Adrian?
I did, and now I lost it already.
He lost the news because we went into this tangent.
So, Captain Marvel behind-the-scenes footage debuts during college football playoffs. So, during the playoffs, they started debuting the Captain Marvel movie, the new one.
Yeah, we've been seeing some trailers on the YouTube.
Yeah, looks super awesome.
And the one thing I can't stand is when they say, "Oh, we've got a new trailer." They show you like 20 trailers before the new one. I'm like, really? This is like 8 minutes of trailers that I've already seen.
Yeah.
Show me the new one. And of course, it's the 5-second TV spot that they put on the NFL.
Did we already talk about the Iron Man Jeff Bridges Golden Globes acceptance speech?
No, tell us.
No, okay. So, if you go to comicbook.com, you can go see the Iron Man star Jeff Bridges Golden Globes acceptance speech. So, obviously, he won something, and you can see that speech. So
he really wasn't here when we talked about stuff.
So,
What does it have to do with Iron Man?
He was in the first Iron Man.
duh.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Jeff Bridges was in the first Iron Man?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I have to watch this again. What did he do?
Oh my god, dude. He was like
Yeah.
the bad guy.
Right?
Jeff
Remember,
Bridges.
he
Oh,
was running
was.
Tony's company while Tony was in the cave, and then he tried to kill him
Oh
at the
my
end.
gosh. Yes. Oh, how did I forget that? He looked like he was bald too,
Yep.
right? Like Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Oh, thank
So
you.
the reason
You know,
that was vital to it was just that was comicbook.com posted his acceptance speech because he won, but he was vital to comic books because he was in the first Iron Man movie. So it was just the headline.
Got it. Okay. Got it. Cool.
Well done. Well said.
Yeah.
Thanks for the save, Beth.
Yeah,
Holy
thanks for the
smokes.
save.
Pretty much.
That's
Like,
what I meant.
this DJ doesn't know movies at all.
And,
Okay.
I don't think that's the truth.
I'm-
You know movies. It was
I do.
confusing.
Just a bit. I was like, wait a minute, I've not drug the conclusion. I get it now. I get it.
And Marvel's Spider-Man reaches 9 million copies sold on PlayStation 4.
Wow, nice.
On the PlayStation.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah, that's what I got.
Isn't that the new, that's the new,
Video game.
The new...
the game.
Yeah, that's the game. That is
Got
the
it.
game.
Okay.
Clarification.
Got
The
it.
game.
The game. The game.
I know we're supposed to get a PlayStation 4 to get the new Disney release game. What is
Kingdom
it called?
Hearts.
Kingdom Hearts. That's right.
You're going to get the PlayStation 4 just for that one game?
Don't ask.
I'm not asking
You
questions.
Don't
already
ask.
asked, but
Yeah.
yes, the answer
He
is
did
yes.
ask. Yes, we're probably only getting it for that. Yeah.
Oh, that's good for you.
That's why I'm working overtime these days.
Oh, good for you.
Thank you.
Oh, seriously, with the... Oh, poor you.
Yes. Or
the only reason why I'm working overtime.
Okay, it's not overtime unless it's over 40 hours a week.
That's exactly the
Yep.
definition of overtime.
Boom.
yes,
So
it
if you
is
worked-
exactly.
8 hours this week, you didn't work overtime.
No, well, yeah, but I got paid for 8 hours, so
Right.
either way.
But you only worked 8 hours a week.
No, I
Just
got-
because you had to work during your vacation doesn't mean
Exactly,
it's overtime.
that's overtime. No,
Movies!
it's not.
Yay,
That's new.
movies!
Okay, movies.
Well, if you'd like to complain about me working overtime for 8 hours of the vacation,
No, we're not complaining about you doing the overtime. We're complaining about you acting like a martyr because it's for the PlayStation.
Oh. Well, if you want to donate a PlayStation
There
Or-
you go.
Yes, donate one to.
Let me know.
And if you're donating
Yes.
PlayStations, why don't you donate one to me too while you're at it?
Just
Yeah, there you go.
why don't you just do 4, or go ahead and
4.
do none, and take the money you would have spent on that and make yourself a Patreon.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, there you go. I like that too.
Uh,
Patreon.com
Patreonic.
/TFW movies. And that's only one dot between Patreon and com. Anyway, so you could contact us at 512 podcast, text message, or voicemail. We love those two things. Bring it on. We get texts all the time. Let's see. That's 512-763-2278. You can find that on our website, www.tfwmovies.com. And then you could also find on that website our email address, shoutout@tfwmovies.com. What does that spell?
TFW movies.
TFWmovies.com.
Yay!
Good job.
It spells shout out at TFW Movies.
Oh, shout out.
Yes, that's our email
That's what I
address.
meant to say.
But then you can go to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
Any of your social
Plus,
media
Google
outlets, because
Plus.
DJ is very thorough.
Very, very
anything,
thorough.
anything social media you
Yes.
can find us there.
At TFW Movies. Go on there and type that in, and you'll probably find us. So there you go. That's how to contact us. Woohoo! And so, again, thank you for our Patreon members. Appreciate everything you're doing there. We're looking to have some more. So if you know somebody, share this podcast with them and let them know we have Patreon. Yeah.
Patreon.
Yeah. Okay. So, among other things, we have a thing that we like to say. Let's get to know our fans. And this is actually one of my favorite things. So, we asked for films about college. So let's talk about Crackhead Blues. Are you ready?
Was it college?
College. Oh no! Why did I have college?
Because you didn't change
I
it in
didn't
your notes.
change that. It's high school,
Yep.
huh?
Yeah, I got it. That way you don't mess it up twice.
Oh, good. Thank you. All right. Crackhead Blues says that she really likes Stand and Deliver.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's a good one. Carrie. Scary Carrie. Back to the Future.
Yep.
Ooh, that's one of my favorites. 10 Things I Hate About You.
That is a good
Now,
one.
I didn't even think of that one, and that's a good one. I like it. Finding Forrester.
Oh.
Yeah.
That is a... Yeah,
Yeah,
I like
that's-
that movie a lot.
Yeah, that's a good one. Then she says, we have some honorable mentions. Nightmare on Elm Street. I have to say, I did enjoy watching that when it came out. Napoleon Dynamite.
Yes.
Good movie.
Yes. And Pleasantville.
Oh, Pleasantville. I didn't even think about that one. Good call.
Yeah, no kidding. I'm like, that one's pleasantly surprising.
Meh.
All right, here you go. Ready? Just Joe sent in Fast Times at Richmond High. Yes, very good one. The Breakfast Club, one of my favorites. Can't Buy Me Love. Sorry, you have to say it with a song.
Well, that wasn't
Trust
what
me.
I was like awing about. But yeah, you do have to say it with a song.
Well, no, I know you meant the movie, but let's see. Dazed and Confused.
There you go.
And American Pie. That one was hilarious.
That even came out when I was in high school.
I was in the 5th grade.
What? No way.
Yeah, probably was.
That's hilarious. Oh boy. All right, producer Pirate Penny,
Woo!
or Penny as we call her. She said she had to chime in. She's like, High School Musical.
Aw, Penny.
Yeah. Aw. All right. Our next listener, Teacher J.M. Strauss, he sent in. Oh wait, I'm supposed to go backwards with him because it's top 5. Here we go. Number 5, Princess Diaries.
Oh, that's a cute one.
Number 4, A Cinderella Story.
Oh.
Yeah. Number 3, 17 Again.
That was a funny movie.
That was a good one. And number 2, High School Musical 3.
Oh. Just going right to the 3. Okay.
Yeah, 3 was pretty good. I enjoyed that one. And his number 1, Mean Girls.
Ooh.
Yeah. So, and that's all of our fans that contacted us for these films.
Thanks for contacting us, guys.
That's right. And I can't remember. I know Jackie shared it, but I can't remember what she said if she had one. So I didn't look. I mean, I looked, but then I didn't see what was said. So although I thought I'll have to think about this one, is what she said. Anyway, all right, here we go. Let's hear from our cast, shall we? Who wants to go first?
You do.
I do.
Yeah, you do.
I will go first, everybody.
Yay,
Here we
you're
go.
so rip-roaring to go.
I am, actually. Okay, Back to the Future. Oh, I love that one. Pleasantville.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I like that one, too. Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Yep.
Yep. High School Musical. Stand By Me. I couldn't remember if that was high school or not, but I think that it was.
I think it's like middle school, but I'll give it to you.
Will you? Okay, good. Thank you. Maybe it was middle school. I couldn't remember, so I'm throwing it on there anyway because I liked it. And there were so many. I wasn't going to be able to stop, but Breakfast Club. I really like that one. Grease. And Easy A.
Easy A.
Yes, I know. It was
Those
crazy.
are good ones.
But anyway.
Good choices.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, high school movies. Movies that involve high schools. So, Jimmy, do you want to go next? I just filled in your number 1 because I already knew what it was.
I do. Dead Poets Society.
Yay! Yep.
Breakfast Club.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Boys in the Hood.
There you go.
I did like Boys in the Hood. Or there's that other one with sorry, what's his name? The Escoban. I forget the name of it, where he does the math thing with his fingers and I can't remember. I can't remember.
I think you need
the
to
name
come
of
up with another descriptor so I can come up with what you're talking about.
Yeah, the thingy.
Sorry, yeah, no. It's like all this high school where everybody's like on the verge of being a dropout, and this teacher's like from Sacramento or somewhere. No, not Sacramento. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
East LA. What's the name of the film?
I have no idea.
Another descriptor.
Edward James Olmos was the teacher in it.
Yes.
I'm just enjoying listening to you guys noodle this out now.
Thank you.
I know exactly the
Deliverance. That was way off.
That was really.
If you
off.
were serious, I'm worried about you. What high school did you go to?
El Dorado High School.
Oh, well, that explains things.
Yes.
Yeah, I went to it when it was still a high school too.
Yes, you did. What was this movie? Was that Stand and Deliver?
Yeah.
Oh, I said it. Somebody else said it. Oh no, it was Just Joe.
Yep.
It was right there in our notes. I'm like, okay, I love that film. Go on. Sorry.
Thank you.
Oh man, that was interesting.
Karate Kid.
There you go.
Napoleon Dynamite.
Oh,
Karate Kid,
Lord.
the original or the most recent shoot?
You're really not asking that, are you?
All right, I was asking, but okay. The original.
The original. That's awful. Ralph Macchio.
Yes, Ralph Macchio.
Mr. Miyagi, wax on, wax off.
Now, if you have YouTube Red, you could
Marina.
watch the second part to that. Like, now that he's older, they do a thing on YouTube Red.
Perfect.
A little television series.
And last but certainly not least, Porky's.
You know, Weird Al has a song that mentions that word.
Because I don't think that would naturally be on anybody's list.
My
No,
dad, it would
I
easily
don't
be on
think
my
so.
dad's list.
Oh, but
Oh, okay.
you got to get him to write in.
My dad doesn't. My dad doesn't computer or anything.
None of
He's
that.
just like,
Because you have a phone.
I'm just gonna stay home and watch Braveheart.
Good. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
All right.
Is it my turn?
It is your turn.
Yeah.
Adrian.
Okay, I'll go.
Is that what you meant by BBQ?
Yeah.
In the notes, the show notes, it said BBQ. I'm like,
Porky's.
Porky's, okay. I
Because
guess.
it was one of my favorite barbecue places
perfect,
called
Jim.
Porky's.
That was good. That was really good.
I didn't want anyone to be like, oh yeah, I'm stealing that.
Yeah.
That was
good.
genius.
Totally.
Yeah. You got to be good at least one thing.
Yep.
All right.
Yes,
Okay,
sir. What do you
so
got for us?
me, Whoopi Goldberg in the early 90s.
Yes.
Got those high school kids.
Are you telling me like
Okay.
Sister Act 2?
Sister Act.
Yes, Sister Act.
Sister Act. That was good.
Yeah.
Okay. High
Sister
school.
Act.
That was a good
Sister
film.
Act 2
Yeah.
was the one with the high school. Sister Act was
That's
just
right.
the convent.
That's true.
Oh, yeah,
You're
with the
right.
comment,
You're
Sister
right.
Act 2. You're right.
Yep.
Sister Act 2.
Okay.
Dazed and Confused.
Okay.
Clueless.
Good.
These are hitting you at home, aren't they?
Oh, yeah. Why?
Never mind. Why?
Clueless. And then Mean Girls and Easy A.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Yay! Very cool. I'm glad you like Easy A. 'cause
It's
that
a good
means-
movie.
It's
is.
really good. It's witty.
It is.
That's
I
how
love
witty
her
it is.
parents. Crack me up so hard.
Yeah.
Yes, they're awesome. Oh my gosh. We have that film if you ever want to watch it again.
I actually thought, like, I could watch that film tonight. I could use a good laugh.
There you go. Good.
Oh, if we're going to talk about good laughs, you know, Where the Millers, really great laugh.
We are, and that's homeschool high school, right?
Is it? Yes, that is high school.
Isn't it?
Okay, I'm knocking off Dazed and Confused and putting Where the Millers in.
You could do it as an honorable mention.
Honorable mention. No, Dazed and Confused is going.
That
Where
could be the
Millers.
honorable mention.
Okay, yeah.
There you
Dazed
go.
and Confused is the honorable mention. I could talk about Where the Millers forever.
We don't have to.
We don't have to.
But it is
Best
a good
movie.
one. I really enjoy
That's
that
number
one.
one.
Oh, it's number one.
Number one,
Okay,
yeah.
good. Very
Definitely.
good. We don't have that one, but I wouldn't mind buying it.
I should buy it.
You should buy it. That's right.
I bought a silly movie.
Yes, we know. Mommy Dearest.
No, I bought another silly
Several
movie.
times.
Oh.
Yeah. This girl that looks in the mirror and the mirror looks back at her and she was like a dork and then her soul from the mirror comes into her and then she becomes like this evil girl.
Is that Jennifer's Body?
No.
No, that's a different one.
And,
Stand and deliver.
no.
Stand and Deliver.
I know.
looked on
It's
my
Sister
phone, but
Act
my phone was
2.
dead.
It's Sister Act 2.
Sister Act 2. And the girl was pretty in the movie, so I don't know if that's why I bought it.
Okay.
But but her soul from the mirror came into her body and took over, and she was possessed, and then was like killing people, and was like cool and crazy and courageous.
Wow. Okay.
Well, when you find out what the name of that movie is, let us know.
yeah, definitely.
All right.
You don't have to do it right now.
'Cause I can't-
Beth, do you have any films for us?
I do. Do I ever not have films for you?
I know.
I bet you
That's
Beth has
true.
really good movies.
She
for us.
has some.
She
really
I
probably
like
the best
Bring It
movies.
On.
Okay, that's a good one. I didn't even think of that. That's
Bring It
pretty
On.
good. Yeah.
There you
Also,
go.
16 Candles. Fame.
Ah, yes, Fame.
Mm-hmm.
I almost put Fame down, but at that point I was like, no, I need to stop.
Grease. American Graffiti is technically a high school movie.
That's true. That's true.
There was another one. Oh, Heathers.
Oh, Heathers. Yeah, that's high school.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. So those are some of my favorites. Ferris Bueller, of course. Clueless.
Yeah.
All the good ones. You know, I think we've
yeah.
done
Isn't
a
it
pretty good
the-
job of covering.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Some of our favorites. Well, I...
One that I was just thinking about.
Yeah.
Teen Wolf.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, my gosh. Teen Wolf, yes. It's a good one.
What other is Michael Myers? Was that a high school movie? Not Halloween. I'm talking about Michael Myers. Like
yeah, like when he was in Wayne's World.
Wayne's World.
They
yes.
are not in high school.
No.
They are out of high
Mm.
school.
They are.
You were thinking Bill and Ted's.
Oh yeah.
They're in high
Bill
school.
And Ted's.
And definitely.
Why wasn't that on my list?
Oh, Billy Madison!
Okay.
Sorry, got a little excited.
No, it's okay. No, that's all right.
That was great. I love it.
Wow. Oh gosh. All these films. If you would like to watch a film that we like is on our list, you will not be disappointed. I'm at least 99% sure of that. So all these films we mentioned, check them out. I'm sure some of you listeners have already heard them, but definitely great films right there. All right. So shall we?
You may have actually more than heard them, but watched them as well.
Yeah, that's true. Mm-hmm. Well, shall we move on to our next segment of the show?
Sure, do it.
Segment.
All right, here it is. All right.
I thought we were almost done.
It's time for Stuff We're Flinging Around.
Oh, that's the best part of the show.
It is. It's one of the best parts, I guess. But all right,
it's the best.
So let's start with Jimmy and the Vice, shall we? It's not called The Vice. It's just Vice.
Award-winning Vice.
Yes, tell us about this.
This is a story about Dick Cheney's path to the vice presidency, starting with his early years after being somewhat self-imposedly kicked out of Yale. Once he was through with school and some difficulties, some DUIs and things, he goes to work as nothing less than a Senate aide, and he worked for Donald Rumsfeld, who is very notorious for being a little rough around the edges. Dick then rises to the historically undesirable position of vice president, but Dick, being the negotiator he is, got a better deal and controlled many of the things that traditionally a president would control. So he was over armed forces, trade, agriculture, stuff like that. So that is the plot.
The plot. So what's your favorite scene in the film? We've already talked a little bit about this, so.
My favorite scene is at the very end where he breaks the fourth wall.
I love that. Okay.
That was my favorite.
Yeah. I love that part. So what did you want to take away from the film?
Never think too small.
Ooh. That's
Go
a nice
big or
one.
go home.
Yep.
Did you learn something from this?
I did learn something from it.
Yeah.
There are no enumerated powers for vice presidents. It's all negotiable.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And the president can actually negotiate who has control over what his enumerated powers are.
Crazy. Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
An overall impression.
9.
Excellent. Okay.
Give it a 9.
Neat.
I liked it. It was really good.
Cool.
I love me some
Cool.
Sam Rockwell, so I'm going to see that movie eventually.
Mm-hmm.
Are ya?
Yeah.
Good. Definitely put that in your eyes.
And this was probably one of my favorite Sam Rockwell,
Oh.
Okay.
because he owned it.
Yeah.
I mean, he just
Oh, he always goes for
Flat
the
out
gold. That's one
owned
of the
it.
great things about him. He doesn't care what
But-
he looks like. He just goes for it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That's cool. And then, of course, there's the Golden Globe that came out
Yeah.
of that picture. So it's
Well done, Christian Bale. How far you have come from yelling at the crew during Batman.
that's right. Yes. Okay, Beth, you saw Bumblebee. What did you
I did
think?
saw Bumblebee. I liked it. I thought it was really good. I thought that the stuff on Cybertron was ridiculously good. I liked all the like old school Transformers
Yes.
characters that you got to see, and it
Yes.
made me really happy. Definitely brought me back to my childhood. All of the stuff that was in the 80s was, of course, super reminiscent to me, and I enjoyed it a great deal. All the music was really fun. I really liked how Bumblebee learned to talk through the radio. I like how they showed us why he couldn't talk in the first place. I liked it. I thought it was probably a 9.
Cool. Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, it was good. Very good. Cool. All right. How about Ben is back? Let's talk a second about that, shall we?
Okay.
All right. So it was sort of like, it's your classic love story. You know, boy comes home from rehab too early for Christmas.
Oh, man, I hate it when that happens.
I know. And then mom's rooting for his recovery. You go. But then mom learns, one of the things she learns is how to not believe the lies of this addict. Yeah. Who's trying to, who even told her, don't believe anything I say, you know. And then the two of them go off on an adventure to find their missing dog.
Oh, well.
Yeah. So, but overall, it was a good film. It was pretty awesome. It was, he was like the son. He actually left rehab and just sort of showed up without notice and all that, and a lot of the times the mom blamed herself for stuff, and then he blamed himself and for other things like his friend ODing, you know, stuff like that.
Right.
So it was pretty an amazing film. It was very heart-wrenching. One of my favorite scenes is there's a meeting between the mom whose daughter had OD'd and Holly Burns, basically the mom, played by Julia Roberts. And the scene was really heartwarming, where the mom whose daughter died basically says, you know, you have to try to help. She gives Holly her expired drug anti-drug thing. It's you shoot it up in the nose, and it's supposed to help them from ODing.
Okay.
Overdosing. There we go.
Narcan.
Yes. But she says, I don't know if it'll work, but you have to try, otherwise you'll hate yourself for not trying. Even if they do die, if your son dies, if you say you tried, that'll help you get through this. So, and it was pretty neat to see them go through that. It was very heart-wrenching. I nearly cried 4 times in this film.
Okay.
So, definitely a good film. Takeaway from this is, when you're going through traumatic experience, use your family as guidance. Don't lie to them, and don't because basically the lies nearly broke this family apart. I can do this, I can help myself, or it's just me and this kid, we're going to get through this, and not anybody else.
Well, also, you can say don't lie, or don't let the lies tear your family apart. But when you're in that situation, I'm sure it's much harder much easier said than done. And
oh yeah.
A lot of time, why am I going into this? Let's move on.
Because I was thinking the same thing.
It's obviously easier said than done, and it's not necessarily always something that they can help.
Right.
So
yeah.
I think it's a two-way street is what the bottom line is that part of it is we have to, as people, if we truly want that success of recovery, being in recovery, speaking as someone in recovery,
right?
As an addict, you never really admit until you get to a certain point. So you need people there who are strong enough to remind you.
I'm more talking
what the truth means.
Yeah,
and because the truth becomes like Beth was saying, the truth becomes so cloudy. It's like what's truth and what's not.
Not to mention the fact that you can help and help and help and try to help all day, but if the person isn't ready to be helped, you can't. You can't just walk in and save somebody. They have to be ready to accept that help. So,
well, let me clarify. It's the codependent. It's not the addict that's doing the lying. Of course, the addict's going to do the lying because they're clouded. Their judgment isn't quite sound. No, it's the mom and the other family who don't get their support from each other. That is where the breakdown.
So, are they actually lying, or are they just
so
denying
that
they need help? Because the way you were
so they're it's partially both. So mom thinks she can help her son on her own. Because here's the thing: they need to go find their dog because their dog was taken by another dealer or something like that. And the dog is important to the family. It's, first of all, it's important to the son because the son was going to OD, but the dog kept him awake. So the dog is very important to him. So anyway, the point is they get separated, but mom keeps, ignoring phone calls from the husband who's worried about her. And then when she does talk to him, she says everything's okay when it's clearly not okay. And that if he was by her side, it would probably be better for her, at least emotionally and in support. But she kept refusing that and getting into deeper and deeper trouble. So,
okay.
That's that little, that thin line.
What were the parts that made you almost cry?
Well, for one, the mom whose daughter already OD'd, and that whole conversation where you can't focus on what's happening. Like if your son dies, you can't let that be your fault because that's not your fault. So
basically, the whole anonymous, whether it's Narcotics or Alcoholics Anonymous mantra, control the things that you can control.
Exactly, yeah. And there was an NA meeting, which was actually pretty good as well. The kid went in, he volunteered himself to go in, and a lot of stuff happened where he came to terms with his addiction and such. And then, it goes even further, which all I have to say is go see it. It's really a great film.
What was your overall impression?
My impression was a 9.
Okay.
After a while, it started feeling like just an adventure to go find a dog. Is really what it seemed like. This could have gone either super serious or in some sort of a Harold and Kumar sort of a funny way. So, but they took it the serious way, and I guess if they went Harold and Kumar, I would have totally made this a 10. But
because it wasn't slapsticky enough,
right? Exactly.
There was no musical around the girl ODing.
Right? Exactly.
Narcan. Everyone's got Narcan.
Drugs are bad.
Neil Patrick Harris was nowhere to be seen.
Nowhere, exactly. So, but overall, it was good. It was and all jesting aside, I think that part just sort of got stale. Right. Other than that, great film. Great acting. Sweet. Julia Roberts kicked it. She did amazing.
It's hard. Yeah. That's a hard one to screw up with Julia Roberts.
Yeah. Lots of tears.
I bet.
Yeah.
I bet.
So, let's move on to another movie that wasn't so such a downer, although it was kind of an uplifting film too, I guess. But
a deep film. It was deep.
Deep. Yeah, very deep. The Favorite.
It's a movie about Adrian.
Yes. So this is another love story.
About, like, Queen Victoria.
Actually,
I thought it was about our favorite Adrian.
Yes, exactly. Queen Anne is what we'll call him. Yes.
I'm the queen now.
Oh, wait, yeah. But anyway, she rules the land. The Queen also very depressed from losing 17 children.
That'll do it.
Not 7 and not teen.
Yes.
17.
How did she lose 17 children? Did it get into
Well, she did explain some of
didn't
them were
have a key
stillbirths,
finder.
some of them were just like blood. It was just really not a good thing.
She didn't have a key finder.
Oh,
Yeah,
Oh.
so she wasn't able to whistle, and they couldn't whistle back.
Oh, that's what it was.
That's it. But anyway, so she was a pretty depressed queen, and Lady Sarah was one of her favorite people, and that favorite person pretty much ran the country because that favorite person, Lady Sarah, would comfort the Queen and make her feel happy. And you know, there was some stuff where she'd make her feel really happy in bed. So anyway, so the favorite has a cousin. Her name is Abigail, and Abigail comes to work for the palace, and Abigail becomes the new favorite because
she's so charming.
Yes. Well, and Lady Sarah is too busy running the country, doesn't have a lot of time at this point in the Queen's life to keep comforting her. So Abigail takes care of the Queen a little bit and becomes the new favorite.
Yeah, that happens.
And, of course, then there's the bickering between the two, Lady Sarah and Abigail, and who wins. You'll have to watch the movie to find out.
It looked really funny. Was it super funny?
It was funny. Okay. There was a lot of one-upping that went along, and you know, it wasn't as funny as the trailer made it out to be, but it was pretty funny. It was a good film. My overall impression was definitely a 9. It could have been a 10, but the way they ended it made me ask more questions, and I was like,
were there questions that could have been answered by history?
No.
Okay.
No. Yeah. But there were a lot of bunnies, too. That was kind of neat. Penny was like, oh, bunnies. So, but Abigail's character, she just, becomes, like, kind of crazy.
Is that
as
Emma
you do
Stone?
at those times. Yeah, Emma Stone, her character. Abigail, yeah. She did good. She did a pretty darn good. I liked her acting.
Cool.
So... that's all I got for that film. How about you, Beth? Tell us. You saw Mary Poppins.
I did, finally.
Throw something down for that. Yeah.
I liked it. Okay, so I'm going to preface this by saying I didn't think it was terrible. I know that Jim hated it. What I think happened was they had ginormous shoes to fill with the original Mary Poppins, and they were trying really hard to make it gold. And sometimes when you try too hard, clearly you fail. So I completely understand with what you were saying about the songs not being catchy or memorable. What I think happened is, I'm going to ask you guys a question. Not your favorite song from the original Mary Poppins, but what would you say is the most popular song from Mary Poppins?
Let's Go Fly a Kite.
That's a good one. I think it's Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Probably you're right.
And when you asked that question, the Tuppence song.
Oh yeah, Feed the Birds. That's my favorite.
Feed the Birds.
That's the most memorable.
I think what happened was they said, okay, everyone loves Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Let's try to make a bunch of songs like that. And that's why all these songs are super, like, linguistically acrobatic, and there's not a chorus in sight, and everything is very, like, it was tricky. So I completely I completely understand what you guys are saying and agree as far as the songs went. I thought visually it was beautiful. And as you're watching the movie, you can literally, like, tick off the songs that you're watching as, oh, this is the Step in Time, and this is the I Love to Laugh, and this is the so I thought Meryl Streep's character was completely unnecessary.
Unnecessary, but pretty cool.
I'm not saying she wasn't cool. She was fun to watch, but I I don't
Right.
necessarily think that needed to be in the movie.
Yeah.
I thought Emily Blunt was sassy AF.
She
Really?
was.
And yeah, and
Teasing.
I mean, I thought it was good. I thought it could have been better, but I see what they were trying to do, and I think that they tried really hard, so bless their hearts.
So it was one of those deals like where you prepare and prepare and prepare, and you are so over prepared
Yes, exactly.
that you trip over yourself on your preparation
Yeah.
rather than letting go of the preparation and letting it become
Right. You worked so hard on making this glorious baked Alaska, and then when you're bringing it to the table, you trip and fall on it, and it ends up all over your shirt.
It's
Yeah.
kind of like my first 2 attempts at the bar.
There you go.
There you go.
Mary Poppins
Yeah,
Returns, Jimmy's 2 first attempts at the bar.
Yeah.
The 2 failures.
I work in melodrama. Everything has 2 titles. That's Mary Poppins Returns' second title.
But, and, you know, in watching Saving Mr. Banks, it gives you a little insight
Right.
of how the original was created. And it was created kind of on the spot. It wasn't, it didn't have, like, all that pre-production that everything has nowadays.
Right.
Yeah,
So-
it was very at your fingertips.
Yes,
and let's
yeah.
do, yeah.
Instead of the mathematical, we have this, let's pick it apart, and we're gonna make everything
And let's
just
get
like
a focus
this.
group.
Yeah.
No,
totally.
I would love to see a film that's not a Blair Witch,
yeah.
but is not a Mary Poppins Returns, but is closer to that original Mary Poppins, where they go out and they just act. It kind of feels like that's what Deadpool 2. There was a feel of that in Deadpool.
Really,
2.
I kind of
Yeah.
feel like you saw that in Napoleon Dynamite. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
and it really,
Yes.
like, lightning really struck with that one. That one could have gone absolutely to the dogs, but instead
Yeah.
coming out smelling like a white rose. So, it's, I mean,
I think it's time.
it all,
I think it's time for another
but there's so much that goes into getting
Yeah.
a movie financed and like
Yeah.
getting
Right.
it cast and doing all the pre-production and getting everything all the boxes ticked before you can even make a movie, that it's hard to just
So-
let lightning strike anymore.
one. They need to just get like a drunk guy that has way too much money and a bunch of washed up actors that have nothing to lose, and
Yeah. Make a great movie.
There you go.
and some some film students from like UCLA or something to follow them around.
You literally just described Bowfinger the movie.
You know, I don't know. I've been wanting something a little different, but I don't know.
It's coming. Something is going to come. Definitely.
Now all I can hear is a
Cool.
change is gonna come.
Change.
That's such a great song. Anyway, go ahead.
Okay, well, let's go to On the Basis of Gender. Oh, I mean sex.
Oh. How come?
That's just part of the film. I thought it was hilarious.
Okay.
The sound that you just
Yeah, did
heard.
Adrian just fall asleep and fall out of his chair?
No, Adrian was messing with the microphone and pulled the whole stand off of the edge of the table. It takes some serious talent. He did a good job.
Did a good job.
It didn't like completely crash, but it broke off.
It broke off. That's right.
Thank you, DJ, for helping me with that.
You're welcome. Glad to help. All right, On the Basis of Sex. Anybody want to hear from Adrian?
Sure.
Well, why don't we have Jimmy tell us the plot line of this film?
So the plot is Ruth Kiki Bader marries Martin Ginsburg, both of whom attended Harvard Law School. During his second year, while Marty was one year ahead of Ruth, he fell ill with testicular cancer. At the time, they had a young daughter. So Ruth took care of their daughter, took care of her husband, went to her classes, went to his classes, typed her papers, typed his
She was
papers.
a beast.
And to hear her talk about it, she actually talks about that when she goes to law schools and organizations and different courts. She talks about that, how the things that matter you work the hardest for. So I actually have heard that story outside of the context of the movie, and I cried when I saw it actually happening because it was pretty cool. They both make it through school. Ruth bucks the system because her husband gets a job in New York, and she says to Dean Griswold of Harvard Law, says, "Hey, can I finish out at Columbia and get a Harvard diploma, get my Juris Doctorate degree from Harvard while basically doing a study abroad?" And he says no. Well, at the end of the day, she gets a diploma from both Harvard and Columbia. Marty ends up working for a big tax firm doing very complex international tax law. And Ruth can't find a job even though she graduated at the very top of her class at Harvard above all the men.
For the love of cheese.
Yeah.
And she ends up teaching at Rutgers Law in New Jersey. And, you know, of course the movie's going to portray what she taught that's relevant to the movie. But more than that, apparently she was a heck of a civil procedure professor because she understood how the Constitution works with moving a legal action through the steps of litigation.
Wow.
So while she's doing this, her daughter's growing up. Marty's like always into little nooks and crannies of tax law. Well, she's complaining about being second rate, and he's making a difference in the world, and he says fine, and he digs up this tax case that was heard in the Third Circuit and was denied. They found in favor of the government where a man was denied a caretaker's deduction on his taxes.
Wow.
And it was on the basis that he was a single unmarried man, never married.
Yeah.
And that that tax credit was only for divorced or married women.
Mm.
So that was the first gender-based sex discrimination case that was brought to the Supreme Court, and everyone told her, "No, you're ridiculous. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen." Actually, she brought that back on appeal to the appellate court in the third district, and she swayed them in the fourth quarter, and Marty pretty much screwed it up for her, and they split their time at oral arguments, and then the government attorney just said, "This is the way it's always been. You're going to tear apart the fabric of America by the slippery slope that you're stepping on." Mm-hmm. And Ruth just said, "You know what? It's time for change. Changes do.
Mm-hmm.
It's time to do it," and they did. And they did. It was a great movie, and it showed. That's pretty much where it ended, other than a little caveat at the end.
Yeah.
So.
No, that was great. What was your favorite scene on that?
My favorite scene was at the very end where she's walking up the stairs to the Supreme Court. In her, she has a royal blue skirt and jacket suit, business suit with a white collar, and she always wears a brooch, and it shows her walking up as Felicity Jones, and then her actually in her 90s walking up, or 80s walking up the stairs.
Nice.
Yeah. That was nice.
That was my favorite part.
Cool. How about you, Adrian? What was your favorite part?
Well, man, he did such a good job. Jimmy did a really good job, I think, explaining it and having a really great favorite part. I would say, actually the part that actually really grabbed my emotions and really made me happy was when, what was her name? Ruth and her daughter went to go meet this lawyer in downtown.
Yes.
And so they went to go meet the lawyer.
Played by what's her name? What is it?
Rosie.
What? Fried green tomatoes lady.
Kathy Bates.
That's it. Kathy
Yeah.
Bates.
So they went to go meet this lawyer, just to, for the study of the case, and Kathy Bates totally was like blew him off. So Ruth in this moment was feeling completely hopeless. Nothing's ever going to change. Nothing's ever changed. Runs out with her daughter, who's 15 years old, and sees her daughter completely man up to people that are catcalling her. Gets a cab and just totally owns like the entire street.
I can't believe you use "man up" in a case in a sex kind of a thing,
right? and Ruth looks at her daughter and had this moment like, wow, 10, 20, 30 years ago, a woman could never, man up to men that are catcalling her or
stand up to, not man
up
up
to.
There we go.
Okay.
Stand up.
Say man up. It's fine.
It's not fine.
It's not
when
fine for you, but it's the way
We're
he's
talking-
expressing himself.
No. We're talking about on the basis of sex. We can't be sexist like that.
She woman's up. She woman's up
That's better.
to these men that are catcalling her. Her mom couldn't get a cab. She womans up to all the cab drivers, gets a cab, jumps in the cab, and Ruth just looks at her and had like a moment like, things are changing. Things
Yep.
have changed.
Yes.
And we just need to get this across the federal court for them to understand this.
It's a good scene.
was a really
That's
good
a very
scene.
powerful scene. That
Yeah.
was a good one. Yeah. Wow. Very cool. So what did that do, like, emotionalize? Did it, like, make you fired up, or...
It made me realize that I don't know. I kind of like, this is going to sound stupid, but equality, like, I don't know. It's kind of cool, because I'm all about women being able to work and be themselves and be independent people, and like women are, they're their own people and not being owned by men. I grew up in a church where I watched women be oppressed.
Yes.
And I actually told my mom this. I'm like, all my life, I watch women being oppressed, and I hate seeing that. And when I'm dating a girl, I need to date a woman that can be her own person, that can find her own, that has her own will and drive.
I remember a day when you wouldn't even let Penny carry her own milk.
No, now I'm like, woman, you got your own milk. No, I'm just kidding.
No, but I mean, that's a huge difference. It's like, that's insane. That's good.
Yeah,
That's good.
I don't know what it is about seeing women be oppressed, but I hate it. I hate it.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's because I grew up watching women be oppressed by somebody that's not my family, but a man that controlled my family. I just don't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, one of my favorite scenes in this film was the scene where Ruth goes in to settle the case with these two lawyers.
They're government attorneys, the Solicitor General and the Secretary of
Something.
Yeah,
But
sorry.
but that's okay. So, but anyway, he was actually the dean. Weren't they both the dean? One was the dean of
One
Columbia.
was the dean and one was a professor.
Okay, so one was a professor. The other one was a dean of Harvard.
Right.
And I really loved how she just sort of handed them their stuff. They're like, so this is what we want to offer. And she goes, no, we'll take the settlement if you do this and do that, and basically do everything that they'd asked for rather than settle and just let it go under the carpet. But the line that like really like drove that home was when she says, everything I'm going to do here I learned at Columbia, to the Harvard guys.
Right.
I thought that was just like a big, one up on you guys. You guys don't know what you're doing.
Well, backing up a little bit to give some foundation for that is in the beginning it talks about Sam Waterston standing up. He's Erwin Griswold, the dean of Harvard Law, and he talks about what it is to be a Harvard man. And then when she's in the negotiation, she says, yeah, Mr. Wolf, the ACLU attorney, said that I would come and sign this, but I have these qualifiers, these terms that you must agree to before we proceed. And she said, basically she said no. But I'm going to let you say no because the ball's back in your court. And
Yeah.
I thought that was genius.
Yeah, it was pretty
So,
good.
that was a really good scene.
Yeah, that was one of my favorites. Another really great scene to me was in the courtroom, and it's the last 4 minutes that she gets to speak, and the gentleman for the state, it's one of the state attorney guys. He's like, "Oh, and you want this radical change right now?" And that's when she starts explaining, like 100 years ago, and 60 years ago, and just 10 years ago, and that was just amazing. And I'm thinking, if she came up with that on the fly right there, that's somebody who's passionate about what she does, and was really, really well versed in what she does.
If you ever really want to hear a real live piece of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, is if you go to a site called Oyez, you can hear oral arguments.
Called Oyez?
Oyez.
Oyez. Okay.
And what the questions that she asks are, like, I would hate to stand in front of her, because she will bust your
Balls.
those
Yep.
and make you feel like you were just hugged.
Yeah. Okay.
And like Justice Scalia used to tell people, like, what to say. Justice Ginsburg will let you hang yourself.
Yeah.
I could tell. She totally did that.
And they were the best of friends. They were absolute polar opposites when they were
Okay.
on the bench. But no, I have a very, very, very high degree of respect for
Well,
Justice Ginsburg. She's actually was the first time in her whole time being on the bench for the Supreme Court today she didn't show up.
Really?
Yeah.
Today.
Wow. Oh, wow.
She had cancer surgery a couple weeks
Oh,
ago,
great.
and she's finally taken a rest.
Oh, good. For a day. Wow.
No, they said she'll be a couple weeks. Her daughter is actually a professor of law, so I'm sure that her daughter, Jane, now is like, you're staying at home.
Yeah. I really liked how she is able to take your words and use them in her argument.
That's what we're trained to do.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's good.
Word benders, kind of like the air benders, but we're word benders.
Right?
But one other, not to do with the film itself, but the actual production of the film. Her nephew is the one that produced the film.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
He's or directed. I'm not good with that stuff.
So he knows a lot about her.
He he had to run everything past her. And imagine having your aunt be Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Oh,
No
man.
kidding.
No.
No, you can't put that there.
But anybody who has any, you want to see a movie about triumph and to see her in the depths of her despair and come back without like a whole Rocky thing. It's a great movie. I probably liked it more than the average, but
Well, I give it a 10 overall. This is one of my favorites. This is something I'm going to have to own, I think, and show it to people whenever somebody's using, language or what have you that would be oppressive. I think that they need to see this film. What's your overall?
if I was allowed to give it 13, I would.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I really
We got to
liked
write this
it.
down. One of our first 10s of
I
the
was
year.
just going to say that. I was texting you, actually. I was like, so that you don't have to spend 15 hours re-listening to every show of the year, start a list of movies
I
that
will.
get a 10.
I'll start a list. That's right. I'll just probably put it on our website.
There you
How
go.
does that sound? Maybe. Okay. Adrian, what is your overall
My overall what?
of the film?
That was awesome.
People are people.
No, your overall impression. What? 1 out of 10?
Oh. 9.
9. Okay.
Yeah, 9.
9. Why not a 10? What did you say? Oh, this could have been better.
I don't know.
What would
and
have
that's
brought
what I'm
it
trying
up?
to figure out. I'm like, why is it not a 10 to me?
That's
Maybe it's a 10.
kind of weird to ask.
Which part?
Like, why didn't you give this a 10? I gave it a 10. Why didn't you give it a 10?
Right. That was a little oppressive.
Was it?
Oh, it was. It
I
really
apologize.
was.
I'll stop oppressing you.
I guess.
Don't worry, Adrian. Don't worry about it. You gave it a 9. That was what your gut instinct was. You don't have to explain
There
it.
it is.
It's fine.
Just say, it's my gut. It's my gut that says 9.
I'm like, yeah, not me.
It's not
Or
the
you
best
could
movie
just
of
act
the
like
year.
You didn't hear the question and answer something completely different.
People are people.
No, I didn't watch the movie Ben. The Ben movie I didn't watch. I didn't have my license.
It didn't even win a Golden Globe.
Can I talk for a second?
No.
Well, of course.
I want to ask Beth, how do you feel about all of this? Like I haven't heard your viewpoint on all this, and you being a woman, I kind of want to get your intake on what happened with Ruth and all that. And have you seen the movie? You haven't seen the movie, have you?
No, or else I would have been talking about it.
You've been talking about it. And how do you feel about women oppression and everything?
I'm pretty sure people probably have a pretty good idea about how I feel about it. I don't understand why people feel the need. This is not what this podcast is about.
That is what the podcast is about, because if we start thinking about things in a different perspective...
No, I understand that you're saying different perspectives, and that's in your bio. I read it. I liked it. But the thing is, if you get me started talking about something like this, it's going to be another 7 hours before this podcast is done. And nobody wants to hear about how another woman, me, feels like guys are douchebags and women are stupid sometimes. Everybody's dumb. Everybody's smart. Everybody has their own opinions. The thing is, I just don't understand why people look at other people and go, this one is lesser. Everyone is the same. Everybody is a human. Move on from there.
See, that did not take 7 hours.
That was awesome. That was freaking amazing.
This is why.
Exactly what I was
this
looking
is
for.
exactly. I bet this is exactly why Adrian asked that question, because you're able to put those words together and you get a little worked up and it comes out like that.
It came out really good.
Well,
thank you.
I'm glad to help.
If we were filming a movie called On the Basis of Sex, I think that you would be a great candidate for that movie.
Oh, I think so too.
See? There we go.
You guys are very nice. Thank you.
I'm not being nice. I'm just being honest.
Well,
Oh my goodness.
I'm not going to marry you, Adrian.
Well, that's great. So, being that Beth hasn't seen the show and we've given our two cents about the movie, I think that's all the movies we've got, everybody. Is that right?
You're probably right.
I think so.
All right.
7
Very cool.
hours
Well, hey.
later.
So, last week's movie clip, our challenge was New Year's Eve.
How fitting.
How fitting. And, of course, Jan Strauss got it during the show.
That was a pretty slick move.
Yeah, I think that from now on, just to give everybody else a chance to at least answer, I won't announce that he got it in the middle of the show.
Well, you were so surprised. It was like...
I really was.
It was like you turned a corner and there was a clown with a chainsaw. You were just like, ah!
That's exactly what happened, yes. So, and I know J.M. Strauss's favorite horror movie is It.
Ah, perfect.
So not really.
Sorry.
So anyway, let's bring up this week's... are we ready for this week's clip?
Yes.
Okay, good. Because I could stall even more, because you know me and talking.
No, we're
Yeah,
good.
just
Okay.
Proceed.
let's do this.
Proceed. Here we go.
I'll get a banana. I'm going to pick out.
Thank you. Oops.
Is that the biggest ass you've ever seen?
Lie down, Chauncey. Lie down! Lie down, Chauncey! He's deaf.
I'm not deaf. I just can't stand listening to her.
Don't fix me, okay? Please, don't fix me.
I won't look at another female ever. I swear. Anything but my manhood, man.
Good God.
Yeah, that is this week's challenge for everybody. Let's see if you can get it. I know Beth has it already.
Well, that was pretty. I mean, lie down!
Cool.
Oh, goodness. Anyway.
Oh my gosh. So, anyway, other movies that were streamed. Bird Box. I don't want to get in too much with this one because everybody else we've already talked about it on the show. But I got to see it, and
I got to see it too.
Impressed. Beth's got to see it too.
I watched 3 whole movies this week.
No way. How did you find the time?
I killed someone.
Oh, well, we don't have to talk about where you put them.
Kindly edit that out.
I know, right? Kindly. FBI is not listening. Don't you worry.
My own agent will do. Anyway, go ahead. Move on. What did you think of the Bird Box?
Bird Box. I thought it was really cool, and just like how it ends up, just like, oh, good. So they're going to be stuck in a bird box for the rest of their life.
Wow, spoiler.
Is that? Oh, sorry. Whoops. But nobody knows exactly what kind of bird box it is.
I mean,
she does carry a bird box.
A box with birds in it.
Yes,
a
exactly.
box of birds.
So, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids star comes in and kind of... So he brings in this machine and it accidentally shrinks the family, and then they just put him in with the birds.
Wow.
See?
I see what you did there. Are you talking about Rick Moranis? Honey, I Shrunk the...
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, see? So I didn't spoil anything until just now.
Right.
Thank you very much.
And I did it because I said it was Rick Moranis. Sorry, guys.
Yep. No, but really, I thought it was a great film. The hype for it is all what it's cracked up to be.
I thought it was pretty good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. And it makes me think, why wasn't this on the silver screen, Netflix? Come on.
Because Netflix has a platform. Why spend $bazillion to send it out into the world in theaters when people would much rather stay home and watch it on their couch?
That's true. You're probably right.
I mean, I got to see it before I got to see Mary Poppins.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense. Okay.
I actually, watched half of it and then had to go do something for a few hours and came back and finished watching it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, yeah, that is the way it goes these days. And we saw a great one called Wind River with the stars, the guy who plays... He's in all the Marvel movies as with the Arrow guy. What's his name? Hawkeye. Thank you. He plays Hawkeye in those, but I don't remember. There we go. Thank you. But anyway, he was in this one, Wind River. It was a classic love story where
a guy who's in all those Marvel movies.
Yes. Well, actually, what he did was there was a murder, but it wasn't really a murder. Like, this gal started running in the super cold with in the snow, less 20 degrees outside, and her lungs exploded basically because it was so cold out. Ooh. Yeah, so that's what killed her, not anything else. But because she was running from somebody, they had to deem it a murder, but they couldn't. They had to say she died of her own stuff, and it was fascinating. So it was actually this guy, the gentleman, the Hawkeye dude. I can't think of the character name, but anyway, the Hawkeye dude is going through this because he just lost his daughter from similar things, not like in foul play, but was running and killed herself that way by accident. So he's dealing with that while tracking down the bad guys who
What's the name of this
basically killed this girl. It's called Wind River. It's on Netflix.
Yeah,
I thought it was good. It was slow moving, but definitely worth a look. Check it out. Takes place at an Indian reservation.
Yeah, sure does.
And Indian
Why are we
sheriffs
calling
and
them
stuff.
Indians? They're Native Americans.
Accurate.
Oh. That's true.
let's not use our words in a bad way.
That's true.
Discriminating.
You're right. I shouldn't have done that. But I think that's what they called it in the movie. So
In the
So it's
write-up,
okay
it
to-
says
it's-
American Indian Reservation in snowy Wyoming.
well, that's good. In the write-up, it says that. That's good. So anyway, there.
What a conundrum.
I know.
American Indians.
What are we going
That's
to do
right.
with that?
That's right.
I don't know.
I know.
They
So-
should all man up.
Oh,
People are people, damn it!
that's right.
They should people up.
People up, yo.
Person up.
So anyway, recommend that one. What about you, Jimmy? Did you have any other streaming?
I did not.
Beth, how about you? Are you streaming something right now?
Heck yeah, I'm streaming something right now.
What are you streaming?
All the Indiana Jones movies are on Netflix now.
Oh,
I am
that's cool.
currently
I'm gonna
watching
do
Raiders of
that.
the Lost Ark. Oh man,
I
that
was waiting
dude's
for you
face
to say
is
something.
melting. Perfect timing.
Oh,
Anyway,
yes.
all the
I
Indiana
was
Jones
waiting
movies.
for
Go
you
ahead.
to say something else.
What were you waiting?
You were watching. I was waiting for you to say something like, "Well, I'm watching Bird Box again."
Oh,
After you said all the Indiana Jones films are on Netflix.
right. All the Indiana Jones movies are on Netflix, so I'm watching Mulan.
Mulan. There you go. I know it's Mulan 2 because they don't have Mulan 1 on there.
I think they do. I think
Oh,
I watched
okay.
it the other night.
Oh,
I'm always watching things
Oh
when I
my
go to
gosh.
sleep, so there's always something on.
Ah, got it.
Please hold while I see if Mulan is on here.
Oh,
Also,
she's going to look for
yeah, it's on here.
also.
Both of them. Also, Pocahontas, Hercules,
Oh, rock on.
Lilo Stitch,
Wow.
Tarzan, Atlantis,
Hercules.
Emperor's New Groove,
Okay.
not animated Beauty and the Beast. A lot of Disney stuff on here. So watch that while
Well,
you
it's
can
because-
before they throw down their Disney streaming service.
Yes.
Because that's going to be
Which is
another
coming this year.
$15 or whatever out of your life. So
Right,
watch it
exactly.
while you can on the Netflix.
Yep. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So next week's films. I guess we're done with streaming, shall we?
Yeah.
Or wait, did Adrian want to chime in on a streaming project? Did you stream anything?
I haven't streamed anything.
All right. Cool. Well, then let's talk about next week's films. We don't have to talk a lot in depth, but A Dog's Way Home.
Oh,
We might see it because there's a doggy in it.
and I don't think the dog dies. But I've seen
I
this
don't
trailer
think
now
so.
so many times that I'm just like, ooh.
And the trailer, I think, gives away the whole film.
Yeah.
I really do.
I agree. I
So,
think it's a spoily trailer.
Yeah, definitely. But so we'll see how that
Maybe I've
goes.
seen the trailer so much that I don't even remember seeing the trailer. Maybe I've subconsciously erased it from my
Maybe.
memory.
There's a
I
tiny
don't think
piece
it's
of
played that
cheese
often.
involved.
Yes, tiny cheese.
Mm.
And let's play Don't Eat Shoes.
Yeah, don't eat
Is that what it
shoes.
was?
And Ashley Judd is the
Yeah.
mom.
Ooh. So, but there are two films that are coming out that I definitely want to see. Replicas. Keanu Reeves. Yep. And The Upside.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So these two are definitely going in
Oh,
our
you
eyes.
got to see Upside.
Yeah. If you haven't seen the trailer, check it out now. So that way you can maybe put that in your eyes. But it's really neat.
Oh, yeah.
All right, box office numbers. What have you got for us, Jimmy?
Well, I just want to point out one thing before we get into
Oh, okay.
the numbers for this week. It seems to me that the big box office hit for the year at like 270 million
Crazy Rich
Oh.
Asians.
is Dr. Seuss's The Grinch.
Oh, wow. So it was kind of like
Really?
a sleeper because you didn't
Yeah.
hear much about it once it happened, once it came out.
Yeah.
Here's the crazy thing. It's been out for 9 weeks.
Holy crap.
And it's 270 million. And the budget was 75, so they made a little bit of cake there.
They sure
They're
did.
doing fine. Plus, they're going to get merchandising,
Oh, yeah.
plus royalties, plus.
Yeah.
That's just box office. I mean, their investors are happy.
I'm sure they are. Oh,
So
boy.
here's an interesting takeaway from all of that. In its third week, has brought in $260 million and is still in number one.
Aquaman?
Wow.
All 3 weeks is Aquaman.
Ooh,
Wow.
way to go.
I believe it.
Way to go,
Good job,
DC.
buddy.
I mean, that
Yeah.
That is, that's true. That right there.
I'm impressed.
Wow.
That's for real.
They did a good job
it
with
wasn't
one.
a bad film. Yeah, they did. They got it.
You know,
That
and
paid
it
for
was
Superman and
it's funny because both my wife and I walked away and said it just doesn't feel like a DC movie. It feels good.
I'm sorry.
I mean, literally.
No, I totally get
Oh.
it because DC has up until now, up until Wonder Woman was kind of notoriously poo, and then Wonder Woman they did really well with, and then they went right back to the poo with Justice League, and now this one is doing really well. So that's awesome. Way to go, guys!
Yeah, whoever worked on that, they need to fire everybody else and just, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, stick to one person, one character. Don't try to throw a bunch of people together because it gets confusing for you, obviously.
Yeah, you can't follow all your storylines very well.
Right.
I know that it looked really good with like Infinity War, but just hold back. Hold back if you
please step away from the drawing board.
What is the word I'm looking for? Know your
Limitations.
That's exactly the word I was looking for.
well, now they have the director from
Oh, that guy?
Oh,
He has the thingy that does the deal?
oh, I've been waiting for that.
exactly. Yes.
And he's got that hair that's that one color?
The movie with,
and two
with
eyes.
Groot, Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, that's right, because Marvel jettisoned him. Oh,
Yeah, Marvel got rid of him, and now he's doing DC. DC was like, "Oh, we'll take
they're
him."
like, ooh.
This will be a good move. Let's fire that guy.
Marvel's like, be gone, and DC's like, I volunteer as tribute.
Yes.
Please come and make us movies that will make us bazillions of shiny dollars.
Yes.
So, any guesses on what number 2 was this week?
Crazy Rich Asians.
Boy. Yeah, Chris. Mommy Dearest.
No.
Titanic.
Crazy Rich Asians surprisingly came in 55th this week.
Wow, okay.
Escape Room.
Oh.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be seeing that tomorrow.
Aquaman was 31 million.
Wow.
Okay.
Escape Room was 18. And 3 weeks in a row in the top 3, Mary Poppins came in at about 16.
It tries really hard. I kind of want to give it points just for having the balls to make a Mary Poppins movie.
Oh.
You know what? You're absolutely right, and I think that one of the things that happens in this film is we were also wanting to go and relive our childhood.
We wanted to go flag height. We wanted to end up having a tea party on the ceiling, but you can't exactly recreate something ever. And don't try because, like, if someone right now was like, "Oh, well, we'll totally remake The Sound of Music," it's gonna be poop too. It's gonna be hard
but
it's not it.
Exactly.
And here's the other thing: I'm not seeing it through the eyes of a child.
That's true. You're totally not. You're like a dude.
No, I'm a dude.
An old guy
a
with
grown
glasses.
dude.
Right, and I don't have a child old enough.
I mean,
or any child at all.
So I think probably not to say this is bad because it's not, and you know I love you, DJ. You know I do. I know this is not a bad thing. I feel kind of the same way about myself. But honestly, you are the closest thing to a grown dude child. You have like such an optimistic, beautiful, hopeful heart that like you give everybody
His head is
all
exploding
the chances, and you're just such a nice guy that if there were like some adult person who could see a movie through a child's eyes, it's DJ. Because he's so like innocent and sweet and precious on the inside.
And this message is brought to you by Thespians for DJ.
Yes. Well, thank you. Thank you.
No, I would agree. He is very childlike.
Yeah, and I would never ever
in
say
all
that
kinds
in
of
a mean
ways.
way,
Not,
DJ. You know I love you.
Not in a mean way.
Of course not.
Very much enjoys.
But I would love to hear somebody who owns a child to comment or
There's
tell us
there's your
about.
first fallacious thought.
I've ever heard
Owns a
ever.
child. Oh yeah. So let's not be sexist or gender biased, but you can own your children.
That's right.
Someone who
Own your child.
that doesn't work. Someone with kids.
Someone who has issue. That's the legal term. Issue.
Oh, that's true.
Oh.
Huh? Yeah.
Well, children are issues, I suppose.
No.
They are issue.
Yes.
Someone who has
So,
squirted
but-
out a baby at some point in their life.
Yes. Exactly.
In the past 10
Flesh
years.
of your flesh.
Or know someone who did squirt out the baby. So I would love to hear their take.
Or help place the squirted out baby.
Yes,
Right, yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
I want to hear their take on Mary Poppins because obviously it's still doing really well. And it's probably people that have children like that the children are going, we want to see this movie. We love this movie.
We want a Mary Poppins, Daddy.
I think
Oh, wrong movie.
my favorite thing about Mary Poppins, and it's like the smallest, stupidest little thing, but at the end when they said like special appearance by Angela Lansbury, and then they had this name that like nobody knows, and then it like danced around and spelled out Dick Van Dyke. That's exactly how it
Yes.
is in the first one, and it made me
Yeah.
so happy that they did it again. I was like, oh, yay! And I actually was like vocally happy about it in the theater, and people looked at me like there was something wrong with me.
Aww.
And I was just like, you know what? You can all just go away and
Eat
leave
a
me
bag
be.
of Dick Van Dyke.
Exactly. I was trying to come up with, because normally I would say something so not podcast approved. And I was trying to be good, but Jim won it for me. Thanks, Jim.
He won
We're
it.
a team. You do
That's
the
it.
slapping, I'll do the kicking, and Adrian will report on it.
Adrian will go, what just happened?
What happened? That's right. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, this is the point where we talk about future movies, and I've seen a ton of trailers, and every time I see Rocket Man trailer, I want to see it. I really can't wait to put that in my eyes.
Yeah, that looks pretty fun. Love me some Elton John.
That does. Yeah. So,
Yes.
and it's so funny. It just says not based on a true story, but based on a true fantasy. And I'm just like really curious how this is going to play out now. Because is it going to have real parts of, of Elton John, or is it going to be
Well, it
just all made up?
I mean, if you want to look at it, like if you look at Elton John, he was always pretty fantastical. So
Yeah.
maybe they're just referring to his life as a fantasy. Or,
yeah, I mean, that's probably true.
no, I'm not saying that's the truth. I'm just saying it's a possibility.
Yeah.
Because the biopic is
yeah.
real big right now. Musical biopics
Oh my
are
gosh.
like, because Bohemian Rhapsody did so well.
Yeah,
There's going to be
it
more
did.
of them too. So get ready. Soon we'll have like the Smiths.
It's got
and-
David Bowie's got to be in
Oh,
there.
Bowie.
I mean,
Pour one out for Bowie.
Michael Jackson, when is that coming out?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah. That probably won't come out for another 20 years, though.
Probably.
Tom Petty.
Tom Petty, yeah. A lot of good ones. Oh, well. Another one I have not seen the trailer of, King of Thieves, coming out soon.
Wasn't that
Yeah,
the
Greta?
third Aladdin movie?
Yeah, I'm.
Maybe. Yeah.
Greta would.
Greta looks interesting to me. I mean, it looks like a thriller.
Well, it can be interesting to you all you want it to be.
A stalker thriller is interesting.
But you're going to be so scared of it.
I won't be so scared because it's not. I guess it's not stalker
So you're
thriller. to
comfortable
me,
with
I
that?
don't know. I might be.
Fish hoop? After
Wow.
a young woman befriends a lonely widow, she just rediscovers... What? Their meeting was a setup.
Yeah.
This is an old movie, dude.
Yeah, it is. It's a remake.
No.
Yeah.
Like, the only Greta that's coming up is a March of 2018 movie. Oh, no, March of 2019. You're right. I'm wrong.
Yeah. I just saw the
There
trailer.
was another movie that was similar.
Yeah.
The 60s, 70s.
Oh.
I think. I don't know.
know.
Maybe I'm inventing stuff
Probably
now.
not.
Yeah. Who knows? Who knows? You could look it up.
I am.
You know,
I could,
Google
but I
it
already
later.
closed my
I'm
MacBook.
looking it up.
Yeah, we could Google it later. But saw a trailer today for Gloria Bell and Run the Race.
Oh, I saw
Race
Run the
was
Races
interesting.
trailer yesterday.
Did you? Yeah, the football player breaks a leg and then can't
Break a leg.
get his football scholarship, so they like train him to run instead or something.
His brother runs.
If I was, so they get a scholarship that way and then get him into football.
It's their way to get out of this rotten town.
Yes, the little town. Get us out of here. How? We play football.
Sports it up.
Sports it up. We'll get out of here. We'll get that free ride scholarship.
You can do it, boys.
That's right. So that looks like a kind of a good one. You know, we'll check it out when it comes around. Did you find the Greta look-alike?
I'm finding a lot of stories about a rescue dog named Greta.
Oh, oh,
So, John Wick 3.
Oh,
I can't wait for that.
man.
He just keeps going through dogs.
The fecal matter is
Speaking
going
of
to
dogs.
hit the oscillator in that one, man.
This will. It sure will.
Oh, jeez
Yeah,
Louise.
looking for that. Beth, anything else you want to add to the future films? That
I'm just,
You know,
I
like-
continue to be really excited about the second Lego movie.
yes, coming soon, February. Yeah.
Like, have you guys seen the trailer where in the beginning Lucy is like, everything is bleak. Back in the day when everything was awesome. And then Owen,
I got coffee.
I got coffee, yay! Like, there is a friendship that I have that I was going to see the movie with this guy, and that is so us. Like, he's like, the bitter liquid that sustains us. And I'm just like, here you go! Hope it's not too hot! I was laughing really hard. But also, I'm really excited about the other character who's like all of the Chris Pratts through
Oh, I did see that.
It's so funny. So good.
yes.
So, yes, I cannot wait to see this movie. Sorry that I brought it up
It's gonna
again,
be
but
good.
I'll also
So-
hashtag
No,
not
that's
sorry
okay.
because I'm excited.
Captain Marvel, too, still.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that looks very sparkly.
And I think I'm getting excited about the DC one, Wonder Woman 1984.
Oh yeah, the 80s Wonder Woman movie?
Yeah.
For it.
Totally for it as well. Adrian, do you want to throw in a trailer that you're really excited? You can't wait to see the film?
Serenity.
Serenity. Ooh, that comes out the 25th.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's going to be an interesting one. I'll go see it with you. Can't wait to see it.
Sweet.
Yeah,
I'm gonna hold you to it.
you better. You better. Beth, you should come on and see it with us.
Sure, that'll happen.
Yeah, okay.
I wanted to, but you know.
Serenity.
Of course.
Sorry.
All right. Well, that being said, let's move on to what we should talk about next week.
Oh, I did see it. Hold on.
Oh, wait. Okay. Holding.
I saw a trailer, and there was a lady behind us who was like, "Oh my god, oh, Downton Abbey."
Oh yeah!
Downton Abbey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one does look good.
Yeah.
I saw that. Yeah, I was like, ooh.
Yeah, that looks like sick.
It's not for forever. This was like a DJ like Hail Mary. It's not till September 20th.
Yeah,
but
it'll be a while.
Ooh, it comes out for my birthday? Ooh, I'm gonna have some high tea and wear a big hat.
There you go.
now I have no idea about it, so I thought maybe I would watch a few episodes.
Oh my goodness. It's
Yeah.
I think you'll really
Yeah.
like it. Downton Abbey, I've seen
think
the
so,
entire series. It's such a sleeper hit because it's so like upstairs, downstairs. I think you'll really like it, Jim.
Cool.
Yeah.
I will look at it.
Cool.
Well,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, I like the trailer of that, by the way. Just like with the house and just showing it the house and then
It's like the beginning credits of the
reflections
movie or of the show.
yeah. Oh, okay.
The only thing we're missing is
Guess I'll
like
have to watch
the
the
dog
show.
butt. Because the series starts
Oh.
out with the guy walking and there's like his yellow lab is walking with him. And so my mom and I were always like, dog butt! Because we're weird. We're weird ladies.
Well, we're going to have to watch it and yell that, too. That'll be fun.
Dogbutt!
Challenge to everybody, watch that film or that show and yell out, Dogbutt, whenever you... And if somebody says, what the heck are you talking about? Say, you heard it on Thanks for Watching.
I'm going to post it on the Instagram, just a still of the Dogbutt.
Oh, yes, please do. Please do. Yes. And then everybody will get it after they listen to the show.
Yeah, well, I'll do it tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Very cool. Well, hey, we're going to talk about movies about getting married next week.
Okay.
Yeah, that just sort of popped in there as, hey, why don't we talk about that?
That's a good idea.
So, I think it's a great idea. There's a lot of movies about getting married.
Yeah.
I mean...
Nobody wants to get married here.
I know there's a lot of people that like Zootopia.
Yeah.
Honestly. So... Anyway, okay. Well, if you have movies about getting married, you can send us a voicemail at 512-podcast. You can also text that number or send us an email, shout out at tfwmovies.com.
Dude.
Or you can go to at TFW Movies anywhere on the Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, or Google+. Patreon, you could send it there. If you're a Patreon member, you could just send us a message on Patreon and say, hey, these are my favorite movies about getting married.
Do it.
Type. Yeah.
It's going to be fun.
So, anyway, all right. Well, if that's it, then let's start with thank you, guys.
Okay.
Thank
let's
you.
end with thank yous.
Oh, that's right. Let's end with thank you. Okay. Well, how about this? Thank you, Joshua Struthers.
Thanks.
Thank you, Big Checho. Great big thank you to our cast. DJ McGee, Jimmy Harris, Beth Labine, Adrian Rondo.
Hey,
woohoo! Special thanks to Jackie Harris and Penny McGee. And then, most of all, we couldn't do this without you. Thank you so much, our listening audience. You guys are awesome. You take the cake.
It's true.
And you eat it too. That's right. So thank you very much for listening. We really appreciate it. And cut.